Hidden within this remote gorge is the richest patch of real estate from the ancient world. This is the Valley of the Kings. Ancient Egyptians built 65 elaborate, heavily sealed tombs here to protect the mummies and treasures of their greatest pharaohs. Yet nearly every single one of them was infiltrated and emptied, often within just a few weeks of the original funeral. The people who broke into these chambers were thorough. They hauled away the gold and jewels, ripped the mummies apart, and sometimes burned the remains to ensure the dead couldn't return to haunt them. With the actual treasure long gone, you might assume there's nothing left for an archaeologist to find. But the looters were human. They dropped things. They left trash. They made mistakes. And the scattered debris that they left behind turns these empty tombs into perfectly preserved 3,000-year-old crime scenes. Take Tomb 49. It's an unmarked, seemingly empty chamber that sat completely unexcavated for over a century. When archaeologists finally began clearing the tons of rubble inside, they subjected every bucket of dirt to a fingertip search. Sifting through the debris, they uncovered a piece of glass. It was a ring, and stamped right on the surface was the cartouche of Ramses III, one of Egypt's most powerful warrior pharaohs. Ramses III was officially buried in Tomb 11, a massive, lavish complex located across the valley. Finding his jewelry in the much smaller Tomb 49 points to a mystery of movement. Above the doorway of Tomb 49, a piece of red graffiti is signed by a man named Hamun. He held the official title of Overseer of the Treasury, putting him in charge of the valley's security. But his private letters reveal a secret mission, a state-sanctioned directive to break into the tombs of his ancestors and extract their gold to fund a struggling empire. Hamun and his men used Tomb 49 as a secure processing center. They dragged royal mummies here, systematically cut through their bandages, removed the hidden gold amulets, and then rewrapped the bodies in the fresh linen listed above the door. One of those men accidentally dropped the glass ring in the dirt. It sat there for 3 millennia, serving as physical proof of a massive government-run looting operation. This state-sponsored looting relied on a specific kind of violence, the total destruction of the human body, which remains the standard operating procedure for modern antiquity smugglers. To preserve the dead for eternity, priests layered gold jewelry and sacred amulets throughout the mummification wrappings. Looters sliced into the fabric and ripped the bodies apart to get to those hidden valuables. Forensic experts in Cairo recently analyzed a shipment of smuggled mummy parts intercepted in the United States. They found several severed hands. Tomb raiders target the hands because they are easily chopped off and often still have valuable rings attached to the fingers. They also recovered this head. By examining the heavy flecks of gold applied directly over the face, experts dated it to the Roman period. Burying a wealthy individual with a coating of gold leaf was a specific cultural practice of that era, and one that made the body a prime target for thieves. These anatomical remains serve as a grim ledger of human greed, spanning thousands of years. Sometimes the sheer focus of these robbers inadvertently preserved evidence they never cared about. Take the burial of Vizier Ipi, a powerful statesman who went to extreme lengths to protect his corpse. His sarcophagus was sunken into the floor, covered in thick stone slabs, and the chamber entrance was blocked by massive boulders. Looters still broke in and stole everything of monetary value. But because they were only looking for treasure, they completely ignored the embalming materials. They left behind 56 jars packed with the chemical salts, rags, and oils used to dry out Ipi's body. When modern archaeologists analyzed the contents of those jars, they found something that shouldn't have been there: a fully intact, mummified human heart. Ancient Egyptians believed the heart was the seat of the soul and vital for the afterlife. During mummification, it was strictly supposed to remain inside the chest cavity, not tossed into a jar with discarded sponges. The embalmers simply made a mistake. And because the thieves who raided the tomb saw no financial value in a jar of salty rags, they walked right past it, preserving a 4,000-year-old case of medical malpractice. Whether it was a corrupt ancient official funding an empire, or a modern smuggler looking for a quick payout, the goal of a tomb robber has always been the same: get in, strip the wealth, and leave no trace. That they sailed to erase their tracks. The glass rings they dropped in the dirt, the supply lists they scrawled on the walls, and the jars of organs they ignored ended up creating a secondary historical record. Revisiting these ancient crimes allows researchers to track stolen antiquities and reconstruct a history that looters tried to erase.